got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop, D-R-O-P.
All right, it's the drop. I'm Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And man, it feels good to do it on a Tuesday when there's a little more energy in the room because we all kind of settled in after the weekend. Robbie, you did a trip.
Yeah, long, strange trip. It wasn't actually that strange. I just drove down 81 to North Carolina to, it's called Mars Hill. It's like outside Asheville.
So could you still see like from when they had that big flood or
Yeah.
you can still see a lot of damage?
Yeah, because we drove down Interstate 26, which was right through there. And it was pretty crazy to see, like, there'd be a creek or whatever that's a foot deep, and you can see how high it went, which was 20 or 30 feet high.
Oh, wow.
And it's the whole way across the highway, and then the bottom of warehouses were just completely wiped out.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, it's really shocking when you see, and just how many like huge piles of debris and stuff are just
Plus,
still there.
like, how long ago was that?
6 months?
Yeah,
6
I feel
months
like that was a
ago.
long time.
That's not that long ago. Like to clean
For
up
there
all
still
to
to
clean
be-
up an entire town and
I
stuff. And they
guess.
probably start in like downtown Asheville and work their way out.
And this is an hour east of Asheville.
Wow.
So, or 45 minutes.
I just remember we drove down to Asheville. It took about 8 hours drive. We had Ralphie, who was a new guy in the family at that time. And the one problem I found, like we would say, oh, the grocery store is only a mile away if you went in a straight line.
Right.
But it's all mountain roads.
Right.
So it was like zigzaggy like a snake. It would take like 20, 30 minutes to go a mile. And it wasn't like there was traffic.
Yeah.
Plus, like, if you got car sick at all, you were in for a world of hurt.
One time I had a horrendous hangover, and this was in West Virginia, which same deal. Back Paw Paw, West Virginia. And we went to go play disc golf somewhere. Me and my friends they were just driving on this road, and I had to get out and just puke my guts out.
Yeah.
It's like
That's the
horrible.
worst.
That's one of the worst feelings.
Yeah.
I think the worst kind of sick you can have, it has nothing to do with alcohol, is when if you go to amusement park or something and you get that amusement park nausea.
And you have it for like the rest of the day.
Yeah. You can't drink that away.
No.
You can't do it. Hey, last week somebody wanted to know, they're like, you guys never say what shoes you're wearing.
Yeah.
Because, like maybe in the photo for the thing. So I don't know. You want to, Robbie's probably going to win today.
Well, real quick, one last thought on the Asheville stuff, because I know we'll never get back to it. But I was there for my brother's bachelor party, and it was like a nice cabin and stuff. But
Oh, I didn't know it was that. I just thought it was some dude retreat.
no, it was for my brother. Yeah, and so anyway,
He's making you travel all over the place.
yeah, seriously. One of the guys there, though, he was a 911 dispatcher during the thing, and he was saying in the first day, even before it got real bad, like they basically were getting so many calls that they just had to shut it. They were literally just like shut it down.
Shut down 911?
Because it was impossible to dispatch. Because first off, the ambulances were getting washed away.
Oh my
if they
God.
tried to go out. He had 1,700. He had a log of 1,700 calls.
How scary is it when you try to call 911? They're like,
Yeah. Because he just went out. Like they just went out then and just started helping. But there was literally nothing you could do.
Yeah, that is terrifying. And it's so weird because it's such a, I don't know, when we went to Asheville, it just seems like such a place that nothing, like
Right.
you would expect maybe like some like deliverance stuff, but not like, not like,
Weather tragedies.
yeah, like I could see a murderer on the loose. But other than that, it seems so serene and
Yeah.
beautiful, and you're inland. Like,
Well, I went running. I did like an 11-mile run and just mapped out this like kind of a loop that hit up the Appalachian Trail because we're only 4 or 5 miles away from it. And as soon as I got out the door, it's just like up and over a mountain. Like there's nothing flat around there. And so I did that, got to the bottom. I was like, maybe this will be flat to where I'm meeting them at the Alopecia Trail. No, up another mountain. Then
Yeah.
I had 2,000 feet of elevation the first 8 miles. I was like, what is happening?
When we ran out there, Meg,
Horrible.
was that the Appalachian Trail that we were on?
We ran in a couple different places, but we were in a neighborhood.
Lake
so
Lure.
I found myself doing like loops in this neighborhood just to
Oh,
be on
yeah.
like road and not like up a mountain.
Right.
It was, so imagine, it was Lake Lure where we stayed.
Yeah.
So the mountains are here and it dropped down to the lake.
Yeah.
So any direction you went, you're
Right.
going uphill. So what you'd see is after we did our run, we're tired of going uphill. There was like a golf path that went from the house, which was up a hill, to the village, which was, kind of flat.
Yeah.
And you just see Megan going back and forth.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. If you want flat, otherwise you're climbing a mountain.
I remember same thing being like Massanutten, Virginia, and just finding a big parking lot because they built everything like those
Yeah.
tiers of communities or whatever. So you just had to find the
one
flattest
flat.
space.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it was cool. It was nice. But what I wanted to say was this is kind of we were pretty back in the mountains. So
Did you hear banjos?
no, but it was a holler of sorts. And the most terrifying thing about running back in there is the dogs, because nobody's dogs are on leashes. They're going crazy. So twice on that run, dogs came running after me.
What
I
did
was
you
like-
do?
I just kind of stopped and made sure they were cool and just kind
Yeah.
of slowly kept walking away. I mean, they're barking like crazy at me on the road.
Yeah, that's
No,
unnerving.
I'm not down
Dude,
with that.
that's my biggest fear I hate running back in those places because of that.
What's worse, that or someone running with a speaker next to you?
Obviously the speaker, no question. I'd rather take a Michael Vick pit bull than a speaker playing Diplo or whatever. I don't know.
Some EDM.
Imagine Dragons, dude. If you put Imagine Dragons on a speaker, I'll take any feral dog over that.
That's fair.
Anyways, but it was still a nice run, and the Appalachian Trail down there was really nice. But
8 hours in a car.
yeah,
One
but I
way.
drove with a friend.
Okay,
so
that
was
makes
cool.
it better.
All right, there's only one thing that makes that doable for us: stopping at Sheets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got
Did
to.
you do a Sheets stop? Get a
We
sub?
did. I didn't get a. Okay, so we didn't stop at. We did stop at Sheets, but I didn't get anything like a schmuffin. We got a. I had some Arby's, which had been a while.
They got the
Arby's?
meat.
They
What
do
did
got the
What do you
meats.
get from Arby's?
I just went basic with the roast beef sandwich.
Okay.
But the curly fries were hot and fresh. Those are nice. That was great. But here was the real treat. On the way back, we stopped at Wendy's, and right now,
Frosty.
yes, but right now they have a thin mint frosty,
Ugh, I'm out.
dude.
Megan doesn't like mint ice cream. I love it. I think it's so
It
good.
was sublime. Dipping the fries in that, I was like, "This."
The only problem is it's a little too cold for a mint frosty right now. Like I want a few degrees warmer.
Yeah, that's fair. But we were, I don't know. It
Did
just
you-
felt right.
Did you ever get a Shamrock Shake from McDonald's when you were a kid?
Yeah, pretty.
Great.
It's that time of year.
Grimace used to hawk those, and I was all about it.
Yeah,
Loved a little Grimace in the little Playland area.
yeah. Those are the pretty much peak of humanity right there. But so I did want to give a shout out to the mint frosty. I check marked that in my mind to mention on the podcast. I think they did a really good job with it. But other than that, it was overall a nice little journey.
Nice. Yeah, I was like, you had like, Kimmy's been the same because you kind of got out last week with us. And then I didn't know that you probably would have been able to do more stuff if you weren't going on a vacation
Yeah.
this week.
Oh, to vacation this week?
Well, you went to.
Does a bachelor party count as a vacation? I don't know. That feels like a
Yeah. I
requirement.
I mean, if you have to watch kids, then yeah, you're like, that's a vacation for you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought Robbie took the kids with him. I
Oh.
didn't realize it was a bachelor party.
No, the other thing I wanted to mention was that we did a poker tournament the one night. Man, there's nothing like playing against a bunch of, my brother's 10 years younger than me, a bunch of early 30s, late 20s guys, like in a poker tournament. Because these guys have no clue. We grew up like I grew up in the prime of poker. That's all me and my friends did for whole summers. So just when you get into a tournament against people like that, it's literally just
Taking their
like
money.
I just know I'm gonna win.
You should. My neighbors do a poker game.
Oh yeah.
I'm out because like I've never played poker.
Which is crazy. I grew up playing poker too.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But we would play. I mean, there were whole summers where me and my friends would play every night after work for 4 hours, like every night.
Meg, if you know how to play, teach me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And so it's just when you know how to bluff and you just can read them straight through and know exactly what they have every time. It's
Like,
just you just take so I won that tournament, which is nice. I won like $70. So
Nice.
Keep the gambling train rolling.
Did that just go right into supplies for the party though?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Did you guys have fireworks? Because
we did, but there was other similar houses nearby. Like they had 5 on this property, so we were like probably shouldn't set them off. But I don't know.
you could have gone in the woods and found those dogs and scared them with the firecrackers.
Yeah. It was fine. Anyways, but I always forget how growing up in the poker heyday, it's like a skill I acquired that I forgot that I had, which is a
Well,
ridiculous skill.
Do you also think?
I feel like is it skill or is it luck?
Oh, it's definitely a skill.
Okay.
No,
no,
because
poker is
for
a
sure.
skill because you have to read the other player. You don't play the cards; you play the player.
there is a small amount of luck.
Says the guy who's never played.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, there's a small amount of luck, but over time, like you will always come out like it's enough of an edge, the skill part, to offset the small amount of luck.
I just remember getting like an amazing hand and like not being able to not show that on my face. Just being like so stoked.
But that could be you could act like that when you have a crappy
Right.
hand.
Yeah, I would try. I don't know if it always worked, but
You could slow play it, and
Yeah.
pretend that you don't have anything. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have a tough time playing poker against Megan because I can't read her face in regular situations.
But you can read her betting style, so if it's
Yeah.
depending how that happens.
Maybe that would happen.
Anyways, all right. Well, yeah. So you're talking about our people.
Yeah,
are like,
people
what
were
shoes
asking
you
what
wear?
shoes we wore during the podcast, which I didn't think was important, but people want to know. And today I'm going to say Robbie has the biggest flex.
I do have the
what are you wearing?
Hoka Satisfy Mafate Speed 4 Light, which was they're nice. The fit's really good on them, and they're actually
When's the
pretty
review
comfortable.
coming out? Because it's in the queue.
The video review?
Yeah.
So that's just a regular version, which is a little bit different than this version.
What's different about it? It has laces?
Just the laces, yeah. This
Yeah.
is the speed lace style, and the other one has the regular laces. But
I'll bet you that came with regular laces too.
I can't remember if it did or I think it did.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. But it's a pretty nice shoe. I can see it's pretty much sold out already. The version that just came out last week.
I mean, it's a great looking shoe.
You think so?
I do.
Okay. I'm a little mixed on it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't
that.
like this thing on the lines on the toe. That's the only thing I don't like.
Huh.
And
Okay.
honestly, I kind of wish, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of wish it did say Hoka somewhere.
Really?
Like,
versus just the bird.
I'm not a huge fan of the bird logo, I have to say, so that might be part of it too.
That's weird because if you flip it upside down, it's a mustache, and you like mustaches.
That's true.
Maybe you just need to reframe your.
That's true. I do like birds with mustaches as well.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
a talent. I think the bearded blue-footed booby. That's one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bearded boobies, can't go wrong with those.
Yeah. Meg, what do you got on?
Right, Carl?
You guys all have collabs. I got a normal, boring shoe.
I'm wearing the New Balance Rebel V4 Sydney's colorway.
Oh, the Sydney McLaughlin one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
was a
love
good
that
one.
song. I will never let that go. Yeah.
Which one?
I will remember you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. She's your favorite
Yeah.
female
Yeah.
400
What a
meter
voice, and
musician.
she's fast. I mean, you can't beat that.
What's on your feet?
I am going just old school, American made in the USA, New Balance 990 V6.
I almost wore that today. That's like the most comfortable shoe
It's
ever.
it's the easiest.
Dude,
Me and
Carl.
Thomas have the same shoe on.
Oh yeah, a little slightly different colorway.
Slightly different.
It's the easiest shoe to put on because in the gray dad color, it just kind of works. Like I was getting ready and I was just like I didn't want to think.
Yeah.
Boom, this shoe. It's kind of like I would equate it to like back in the day I used to wear like Chuck Taylors and Vans and stuff, and they're just easy. You just throw them on.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Like that, the Satisfy one, I'd have to kind of like, I'd have to
Fair.
make sure I have it juiced up just right.
That's the brilliance of the 990. Can go with anything, anywhere, with anyone.
Yeah.
It's cool for anyone.
Only thing I did is I did put on the New Balance socks with it. I had to make sure.
Oh, yeah, you're that guy?
Yeah. Speaking of socks, I have a present for you.
Oh,
Look at this. I have a couple presents. So I'm going to start with
Really?
this one. Yeah.
Daddy.
So first off, Fractal
Papa.
has gotten into socks.
uh-huh.
And so here's 2 socks. I already tried the one.
Okay.
It's nice. It's as good as anything out there.
Yeah.
The only thing I got to tell Fractal that I don't like is they use those little plastic things to keep the top together. Like here.
When in packaging or whatever?
Yeah. And unless you have scissors, you're inevitably going to pull some threads as you try to pop it out through
Well,
the
maybe
thing.
you're supposed to carefully use scissors.
Yeah, you
Yeah, but
probably
I don't
should.
want to do that. Give me a sock. Like other people do that little like slider thing.
Slider.
I think like Swiftwick has like an
the
envelope.
cardboard thing.
Yeah, and that works fine.
That's
like,
fair.
This thing is going to put holes in socks. As a matter of fact, I may have already damaged my first pair. But here you got a white
Of course,
pair
I don't have my
and a black pair.
my airport Leatherman on me.
And Robbie,
One day, I
these
need
are more the style I like. I don't think you like this style as much as I do.
The high sock?
Yeah.
I'm okay. This seems like a mid one, right? Like a
Yeah, it's not too high.
I like
it's
that.
higher than an ankle sock, lower than
No, I'm
a
okay.
calf sock.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
I just don't think I'll be wearing. Like, I feel like running shorts. I don't mind some like calf socks or mid crew, but if I'm like lifestyle, if I'm just wearing shorts and shoes, I'm sorry, I'm not.
I like it. I know it's horrible. Like I would have made fun of my dad, but I just love that comfort. I don't know, Carl. Where do you stand on?
I fought for low ankle socks for decades, and I'm just not giving it. We'd already talked about this before. I'm not
Yeah.
giving it up.
I'm kind of in the middle. I don't mind the long. I have a lot of long socks, like crew socks, but mid crew. I also don't really wear shorts. So
Why
usually
don't you
pants
wear
guy.
shorts?
I don't know.
It's
Feel
winter?
vulnerable. No,
yeah.
even in the summer I wear pants.
What?
He
Yeah,
has.
for the most part I usually
You're
wear
jogging in tights in the summer?
pants. No. I mean just like I think you're
For when
talking
he's
casual.
walking around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not wearing
Wear-
like lifestyle. I'm still wearing long socks because I'm wearing pants usually.
I
When,
got you.
when he's stunting.
Yeah,
When
I
I'm
think-
stunting.
Were you knee shamed as a child?
Knee shamed by myself. Yeah, I did that
Shin
to myself.
shamed?
Shin shamed. I like that.
Is that a thing?
I think so.
Okay.
It is now.
Some people
Calf
have
confused.
Calf confused and shin shamed. Too flat of.
Thigh
too fat.
unmastered.
What is it? I don't know. Okay, try.
All right, yeah, it was a weak try. But I have one other gift. You ready for it? I want to
sure.
do a taste test. You have your choice here.
jeez.
Carl's going to get your second choice.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Hop water.
Oh, I actually had these this weekend. Yeah, they're good.
All right. So I don't even know how to describe it because it doesn't taste like beer,
Yeah.
but it's
I
called
had
hop
that.
water.
I had that blue one this weekend.
All right. So you're not going to pick the blue. That's a classic.
I would go ruby red grapefruit.
Do you want to know the other flavor? You don't even know what the other flavor
It
is.
looks like lemon.
Mango.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh man, let me hit that mango order.
All right. So you're going to taste test this mango. Carl, you have ruby red or classic.
Are these even?
What is classic? Is that just like the regular? It's like no flavor. Like
Yeah,
no-
pretty much.
Is this a
It's water.
sponsorship?
No, they
just
just
sent
sent them
them.
to try them.
Cool. Maybe it should be because they're pretty good.
Do the
I
grapefruit one.
All right, come grab it.
already know these are pretty good. And look, they have a
Don't kick over the camera.
they have some crazy amounts of like vitamin C and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. There's additional things in it. At first, I thought it was just going to be like beer water,
Yeah,
like the non-alcoholic beer water. But what's it got in it?
adaptogens and nootropics, which I think are just.
I think that to me that sounds like bullshit.
I think it is. Like I hear that a lot in the Instagram, like bro crowd thing. But
That checks
I
out.
mean, if you smell it, it does give you the kind of smell of beer. You want to smell it, Meg?
No, like that sounds like the worst case scenario. It smells like beer. It kind of tastes like beer, and there's zero alcohol.
dude, it's nice.
It
I
doesn't-
don't, I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think it
That's actually
tastes like
pretty
beer?
nice. No,
I don't think it tastes like beer.
I don't think it tastes like beer either.
it's
what,
nice.
What does yours taste like?
Well, definitely grapefruit, but I mean it's like a seltzer, basically just like a regular seltzer
With a little bit of bitterness, right?
a little bit of bitterness. Yeah, but it's not over the
Do
top.
you guys know
or
what you're
anything.
drinking? Seltzers.
Pretty much. What,
No, but there's nootropics in them.
This
Okay.
one says crisp, citrusy, and piney. So I
Oh,
think
this
that's
has ashwagandha to distress and unwind. Yeah, I need that.
Ashwagandha is good. Keep
Is
it up.
it?
I don't know, Meg. Does this one have stuff in it?
Yeah, all the stuff that he just said. Ashwagandha, L-theanine.
So imagine you mix this with an element.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You're going to space.
You might be too much.
I wonder if
it turns into a monster drink.
You know how people weren't super sold on the chili flavor of Element? I wonder if you mix it with a mango one, if it'd be pretty good.
Chili mango?
Yeah.
That sounds
I
pretty
think
good.
it was mango chili was the flavor of the element. So you'd be doubling,
Dude, I'm definitely gonna try
you're going to
that.
be going mango out of this world.
I mean, I don't know. I think I had this after a runner, maybe when I was like, I think I was breaking up my beers. And it was great.
I
loved
love
it.
the breaking up the beers. I think that's an underrated technique of hanging all day.
It really is.
Like if you can get the non-alcoholic
Yeah.
mixed in there every once in a while.
We're living in a pretty good time of history when you can break up the champagne of beers with the champagne of hop waters.
Okay, so
Not bad.
Okay, nootropics are considered, quote, smart drugs. So they're like supposed to help with brain whatever. It's
Okay.
Yeah, it's all for cognitive like function and stuff, but
I'm going to call a little bit of BS, but we'll see how you guys are functioning
I
later.
don't. Okay, there's the one comedian that was, I forget what show he was on, but now he does a bunch of commercials for this like brain drink. Like he's like, I take this and it's the best thing that's ever happened.
You mean commercials or Instagram ads?
That's it. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
watch
do you know what that
commercials
is?
on
That's
TV
him
anymore.
making money.
Right, but he's so vehement about it. It's the only thing he's selling. I'm just like, and you got the Joe Rogan sells some sort of brain drug.
I think, isn't that what's that?
AG1.
Isn't that kind of this?
No, that's
No.
That's like a greens powder.
That's like meant to have like all your vitamins, minerals, supplements all in like one drink.
that tastes like all your vitamins.
Real
and minerals
athletes
in
don't
one
actually
drink.
drink it. Yeah.
I
It tastes
like
like you went to a like field of grass and then picked some stuff
Have you
and
tried
put
some
it in a
water
blender.
and-
Yeah, they sent
Yeah.
us a bunch. I couldn't even drink it.
Really?
It tastes like what you would think goat turds taste like.
I had
Very
never even
specific.
imagined what that would.
And
taste
that's a
like.
good taste, by the way. I'm not AG. If you still want to sponsor us,
No, they did. I couldn't do it.
I know. I'm kidding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't drink it. I'm not gonna tout it.
Another one we turned down was ketones.
Ketone IQ or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Turn that one down.
And did that taste like?
I haven't tasted it.
A
Apparently, people do
key
not
necktie.
like the taste.
Yeah, it tastes like
It's like harsh tasting.
it's horrible.
Yeah. Almost like caffeine, that like bitterness. It's gross.
That's
Wait,
what
you
it
can
tastes
drink
like.
straight caffeine?
Yeah, you can.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Well, caffeine has like a bitter taste.
I didn't
Like,
even-
have you had a Morton gel?
I've had plenty of 5-hour energies in my life. That has.
Well, that's sweetened.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
throw in some sweetener and some B12 and
Oh, the Mortons. You can taste
like
it.
you can't taste the difference between a caffeinated gel and a regular gel.
Wow.
Dude,
Almost
you-
all caffeinated gels taste different from
You-
the
you
non-caffeinated.
must-
I think
Just-
he's doing all caps all the time anyway.
He must have burned his taste buds out with them cigarettes.
Oh yeah, I don't think I have any.
You're
left.
dumping in the woods in the middle of your run, dude. Like,
Anyhow,
all
this
caffeines.
hop water, I did try to do one of those times. So I was coming back from the gym, which we can talk about that here in a sec. And I was like, I really would love a glass of wine or something, but it's my job to keep alcohol in the house, and I didn't do my job. So I grabbed one of these hop waters,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, is it satisfying? I was trying to figure out if it was satisfying the urge to have a beverage. And I would say for me, this was as good at doing that as maybe just any kind of flavored seltzer water. It wasn't, I didn't feel like I was like, oh,
Yeah.
kicking back with a beer here.
Yeah, I think that athletic kind of fills that niche nicely. You say
But-
niche or niche.
I think this is good for, I get so bored with the regular taste of, like, we have tons of seltzer water in the house, but there's no flavor.
Yeah.
And, obviously we have water. We really don't, like, it was weird. I was thinking about this the other day. We don't have a lot of flavored beverages in the house. So I do kind of like having,
No,
Something
sometimes
like
you just
this.
need that flavor. And milk sometimes doesn't do it.
all right, first check-in. I know you're probably hoping that it was Carl with that beautiful voice of his. But, he's taking a break, drinking some pop water. And, I was thinking about running with people. And I'm always trying to figure out what is it that I love about running so much. And I just do, like, most of my runs, they're not the greatest. A lot of it's just getting, the run done, knowing that you're building fitness and that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't exactly say they're fun or I get done with them and I'm like elated or anything like that. So I'm just always kind of running for those days where it does feel amazing to be out there and it's worth it. These slogging runs, these ones where you just didn't feel like running today and you even get out there, your legs are heavy or whatever. Sometimes they're worth it so that when you get to that run where everything just feels right and you're like, this is how running's supposed to feel. Keep at it. Someone said that cockroach milk has more
What?
nutrients
But you
than...
can milk cockroaches?
That's the thing that I was like, this has got to be bullshit.
Yeah,
'cause
what was this on
They
Instagram?
they're not mammals. They don't milk a young. They
you
don't
put them under a
milk their
microscope
young.
with tweezers and start pulling a little bit?
I guess. Haven't you ever seen a cockroach nibble? But yeah, I was like, this got to be like when they're talking about cockroach milk, they're not talking about. It's not like milk. Like they're not mammals.
The Pacific beetle cockroach is the primary species known to produce cockroach milk.
Dude,
Female cockroaches secrete this substance into a brood sac where it crystallizes and nourishes the developing nymphs.
yeah, I'd try it. I'd do it.
I mean, is it really that much grosser than a giant? Those cows are. If you really look at a cow,
Okay, it says it's highly nutritious, containing high levels of protein, up to 3 times that of cow's milk, essential amino acids, fat, sugars, vitamins, and minerals.
Dude, what stage of the simulation are we in right now?
well,
This is insane.
they're getting us used to eating insects. We will be eating insects.
I know, man.
Crickets used to be a thing. They're
There.
not anymore.
Well, that's because people reject it, but sooner or later, it's happening.
I would still eat crickets, but when they
Dude,
first, if you
I'd
cover
rather
anything
eat
in
a cricket
chocolate,
burger
it's gonna be
than
good.
an Impossible burger. I think they're probably better for you than whatever they're making those things out of.
Oh, like
You mean how they're trying to make it look like meat that bleeds?
the
Yeah.
Impossible Burger is pretty good though. I don't know what it's made
Right,
out
but
of,
if they use it, so the cricket protein powder, they just take them and you get all that.
Ugh.
I ate bars with it. You can't taste it.
yeah,
And
it's
if you
fine.
eat crabs and you eat lobster, it's just a tiny lobster. Like it actually should be cuter to you than eating a crab. Because like think about the size. Like if you eat a giant crab, that's a really gross looking like tarantula.
You don't eat the shell of the
Dude.
crab?
yes, soft shells you do.
Yeah, but I don't eat those.
Oh, they're good. Yeah, dude. Oh, this one time I was at my parents' house and they up in PA they have a stink bug problem. Like they're just everywhere. Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
And so one time I don't know why. I think I was just hungry and I ate like a granola bar in bed or something.
I thought you were going to say you
Or
ate
ate
one
a
of the
stink
stink
bug.
bugs.
Well, just wait. So I ate like a granola, one of those breakfast biscuits, like a Belvita thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I thought like I turned the lights off and stuff and didn't have my glasses on. And I was like, I thought I dropped a crumb. And so I picked it up and ate it, put it in my mouth, and it was a freaking stink bug. And I was like, immediately realized what had happened and spit it out.
It took you from the ground to your mouth to figure
No,
out it
was like
wasn't a cracker?
Next to my pillow, technically. But it had the same texture. It has hard edges, so it had the same texture as like a.
Just wasn't as sweet.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if you put enough sugar on anything, it tastes good.
No, they're gross, man. Because they have a pretty potent like.
Stink?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's some sort of gland.
So if you're ever eating crumbs in bed in Pennsylvania, just make sure you turn on the light.
Robbie's sleeping in a bed of bed bugs.
Oh, gosh.
So yeah, that was a mistake. Still not as bad as accidentally drinking Snapple bottles with tobacco juice.
Oh,
as
dude,
you-
I did.
no.
I got a Coke can of that one time, and it was.
That was definitely all time worst.
Speaking of, there was people do. Have you seen that marshmallow challenge where you get like somebody's up on a balcony or something? They throw down a marshmallow and see if someone can catch it in their mouth, and then they switch it with an egg.
Oh, gosh.
It's the best. I like watching those videos. So this girl, there are 2 girls smoking cigarettes on like a down balcony, and the guy's like, "Hey, will you catch a marshmallow in your mouth?" And she's like, "Yeah." And the first girl throws it down, she catches it. She's like, "Yeah, it's celebrating." So the second one's like, "Me." And she's got her cigarette in her hand. He throws the egg, and it hits her in the mouth and breaks open.
See, that's a good.
But she started vomiting,
Oh, okay.
and she couldn't stop.
I mean,
And the price of eggs, though, like she's wasting it.
Oh yeah, probably not nowadays.
Yeah. So that's a weird thing. Where Meg's sister's from, they can't get eggs.
Oh,
San
you can't
Francisco.
actually buy them?
We're going
She's
to.
over in the West Coast near San Francisco.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Meanwhile, we're in.
That makes sense.
That checks out.
We're in our what do you call those big box stores or the what do you call it, BJ's?
Costco wholesale.
Yeah, wholesale club.
Yeah.
And Meg's coming home with trays of eggs, like she's.
I said
Oh,
it's funny
King of the
because
castle. King
Yeah.
of the castle.
my sister was
I feel like we're eating more because we know people can't.
my sister was saying how they every time she goes to the grocery, there's like just no eggs in the egg section. It's just like empty. And so I took a video and I just walked down the hallway in BJ's, and because there's just like rows and rows of eggs, and I was like, we're so rich in Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
It made me feel like you
yeah.
know that meme where the three like princes are standing on the balcony in like France or whatever, and they're all looking down. I feel like when I crack open an egg in the morning, I feel wealthy.
Well, what does it say about Baltimore that we don't have an egg shortage?
That they're willing to kill us with bird flu.
Okay,
They're like these. We don't need these guys.
that checks out.
Maybe it's because there's a lot of like chicken farms around here and on the Eastern Shore.
That don't have bird flu.
Yeah.
We do have some farms over here.
I'd
Okay.
be confusing if you said if you were just talking about bird flu and you didn't know, because like flu is like a version of flying, and you'd be like, yeah, that bird flu. And you're like, what about it?
Oh, it's also you're saying it's a verb and
Yeah. You're like,
a,
all right, yeah, it's a
adjective.
bird. Yeah, that bird flu.
or it's a verb and a noun.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just me
that
thinking.
is confusing.
Can we talk about the big marathon that happened this
Yeah,
weekend?
we should definitely do that.
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
All right, it's 2 years since we ran Tokyo. I just got a memory.
Yeah, I was looking at all those photos. It was fun.
I have to say, that was one of the best. I just love that. The whole experience from top to bottom was one of the best ever.
Even the 18-hour plane ride.
Yeah, because I found out I could do it. Like, I mean, Carl and I are going to be going on a long plane ride. We're supposed to get our plane information this week.
Yeah, did you read the contract?
Yeah,
I didn't read it.
I did. You're okay.
Okay, cool.
Man, my microphone.
Just if you have any children, they have to stay in Africa.
Oh, okay.
That's the contract.
But so anyway, Tokyo.
there
Yeah,
you
we
go.
went in 2023. We got wonderful weather. It was like 40 degrees or something
was
on
cold.
race day. Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah.
And just the whole week we were there was pretty incredible. So it was fun to watch people running this year and kind of relive those memories.
That and the following Boston Marathon were probably two of the most enjoyable easy run marathons where I was, I mean, I ran easy and I ran with Brandon and I just had a great time. And I just felt like the whole time we were having fun. I miss, that's why I keep running. It's like that kind of feeling on that, even though we weren't pushing the pace. I think we were like 3:46 or something like that. But it was like to be able to run that and run it and have fun and enjoy the whole thing. And then the people were amazing.
Oh, that explains it, because that was one of the worst races of my life. So I'm remembering this in a totally different way.
Why was it so bad?
I don't know, because I got a total of 6 hours of sleep to 3 days.
Oh, that's right.
that's
That's when you
right.
took the melatonin right
At
before
3
you got
a.m.
up.
Yeah.
And then the crashing out at mile 20 and like
See, I feel bad for you.
almost getting hypothermia after the race.
I think here's
Oh, yeah, you got like lost behind the.
Yeah.
the thing that kind of sucked was all of us for some reason were together.
Yeah, why were you in a different corral than us?
Probably because they didn't get my booster shot going in, and they thought I was going to give everyone a.
COVID.
Robbie was unmasking before they were unmasking.
Remember going to the airport? I was like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They almost didn't let you on the plane.
you had to get a COVID test
Yeah.
48 hours before or whatever, 72 hours before, and the lab that I did it had not sent it. Didn't on the report that they gave me, it didn't have the thing that the Japanese government needed, so they didn't approve it. And I'm like calling the lab like 8 a.m.
I forgot about that.
And literally as we're checking in,
Yeah.
it came through, and I was like,
That's the worst. But
oh, it's stressful.
So I feel like at that point, were you almost trying to catch up with us or trying to like? Were you pushing harder at the? It has that downhill start. Were you trying to get up with us and maybe like running too hard?
Oh, I
in
think
the
I
beginning?
was. So yeah, there was a part where I think I saw you during the race.
Yeah, that's
backs.
here's why I love this race. I got to see everybody a few times because there was these out and backs.
Yeah.
So you'd see people. The only thing is it could be misleading because you probably saw us and we were probably like a mile ahead of you. And
Well, I was thinking I could catch you in like 10 miles or something.
yeah.
Or 8 miles. And then so I was pushing it a little, but it wasn't ridiculous. Like I had trained for the race. It was definitely a huge part of it was the sleep. For sure. Because that one night, 2 nights before, I got like an hour and a half of sleep, and then it was just not good.
And this isn't intended, but it could be a lagoon pillow segment.
Yeah.
Like I do
I wish I
feel
had my
that
lagoon pillow.
I find the same thing. It's like ever since we've been tracking our sleep, before we do like a run on the weekend or whatever, I'm going to have to do effort, I always check my sleep before
Dude, you
I go. I
shouldn't do
probably
that.
shouldn't.
You
I
should
should
check
track it
after.
afterwards.
Yeah.
But
Psychologically, you're gonna.
but I like it the reverse way. If I slept well, then I'm like, yeah.
Oh, and that Picari sweat was making me sick too.
See, I like
Remember
the
we brought a
Picard
bottle back for your birthday?
Yeah.
Hey,
Forgot about that. It was making me nauseous, but then Gatorade does too. So,
Yeah, all that stuff's not great. But this this year,
anyways,
Harry Styles ran.
yeah.
is that the most important person that ran?
Yeah, definitely. He was wearing Tracksmith and Alpha Flies.
And,
And
And District Vision.
District Vision sunglasses.
No, and shorts.
No, Tracksmith shorts.
Tracksmith, yeah.
Oh, they have a picture and he's wearing District Vision shorts.
No, it was
No.
someone. It was a guy
The
running
dude
with
next
him.
to him.
Oh, okay.
They're holding hands too. I don't know what that's
who was
about.
that guy?
Were they really holding hands?
Yeah,
Oh,
smashing barriers.
I don't know who that guy is. Maybe
someone
his
said
like
his
bodyguard
name.
/ runner. Oh, he's just like a friend or
do you think
someone
that
famous?
maybe he had some sort of transdermal drug that would like pump you up?
Yeah.
So it's like, let's hold hands.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little annoyed when I saw that he ran a minute faster than.
3:24:07.
It was actually more than 2 minutes faster than me.
Less than a minute for me.
Yeah.
I'm faster
I mean,
than
that means
Harry Styles.
he was like, unless he's like super
20 years
talented, like
ago,
he was training. Like he must have trained
for
for
sure.
this.
He was training for it.
It's not quite 20 years, but it's up
I
there.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
I do love when they do the celebrity things and you can see where you stand versus the celebrities.
Yeah, which generally speaking, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Who was the one that?
How did Diplo do with his when he did all
Diplo
that?
was like just under 5 hours, I think.
No, he was like 350
Or just under 4
357.
hours?
Yeah,
There was
Okay.
somebody
but he was
who
also
like,
on acid.
Yeah. So does that count as doping? I don't know.
I feel like anything that gets your head out of the race probably helps.
Yeah. You can't convince me that Alexi Pappas didn't do a little dab of that. I don't know.
Have you seen the sparkles on her face?
Okay,
100%.
here's the thing. When
I'm not judging.
I was in
I-
Berlin.
She should own it. She
And
should just say.
I was walking through the finish area and I saw Alexi
Mm-hmm.
and I asked her, I said, hey. She said, no way.
Oh,
but
man. Maybe not.
I mean, maybe not, but she looks like she's having the best time ever.
I think she
Yeah.
just likes running a lot.
She's great. I do actually.
She's
I do like her a lot.
okay, and she wears your favorite brand, Robbie.
Ultra.
Isn't she not
You
with him
can't keep
anymore?
his headphones together.
I don't know what's happening.
But she wore Altras for Tokyo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she's still with them.
Okay.
I have a question for you guys that is quite controversial.
I have never experimented.
That's
How-
not controversial.
How do you feel about people in our space running marathons who are injured?
Oh.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
I
Like
don't
I was
actually-
surprised.
I'm not talking about someone specific.
Yeah, you are. I'm not. I am not. See, here's the thing. I was surprised to see Carlos Keys running the Tokyo
That's not who I was
Marathon.
talking about.
Okay, well, that was the one that was in my head. I was surprised to see her running because I know that she's been like working towards getting back in her mileage.
She just had a big surgery.
But I understand why she did it, and I feel like I probably would have and tried to do what she did if I was in the same position, because she was getting her 6th star.
Yeah, I mean,
So, and you get into Tokyo.
but no, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
This certainly was one of her slowest marathons ever. She had, I think she just, after 13, had to like almost walk it in.
I would do it too, yeah.
Okay. And I wasn't talking about Carlith, but I do understand that side. But as someone in the space who's influential, and let's say you get your 6th star and then you can't run for 5 years, is that the right answer?
I mean, not really. Yeah,
Well, it depends what your goals are. If your goal is to get the 6th star and
Yes.
you're done, then yeah. But like, can you give us more specific of a person?
No, I'm
or
just
an
I'm
injury?
just saying in general. Like I'm just curious. It seems like there's this feeling like you need to be at every major, finish every major.
Are you saying that sometimes we need to just chill?
Like if you're injured or you're like, why do we feel like we have to do it?
Well, I think it depends. Like there is one person that we know of that sort of maybe faked their way through some time when they were supposed to be running and weren't running, and kind of made it look like they were running on Instagram. And, at that point, you're like, okay, you're making it clear that
I mean, it's
the money or the job, it's a job for
Yeah.
you. It's not a passion. I think that we have a luxury, though. I think that we have something that a lot of people don't have. And I think this is something that I love, is if one of us is down, somebody else can, like if I can't review these Puma shoes, it's not like we're not going to have a Puma review. Carl will review it. Robbie will review it. You'll review it. One of the people on the team will review it.
Yeah.
We have a luxury that if you're a one-man show or a one-woman show and you can't, this stuff comes like this week. I didn't even know we were getting another shoe. We got another shoe that's in this week. The from Asics, Cumulus 27, I think. And I didn't know that was coming. And I'm like, okay, now we got to get that. If you can't get the stuff out and you're injured or whatever, and it starts backpiling on you, I think there's a pressure to be like,
yeah, I mean, I get it. Look, if you're a one man or one woman show and you have to do if it's your job and how you support your family, like, I'm not really judging you for creating a perception of it. It's like,
I do think you should be honest though.
I agree too. Here's the thing. And someone like Carlos Keys, I felt like
she's done
a really good job of creating running related content that's not running because she's injured, and she admits to that and takes you through her process, everything. And I think that's great.
I think she's been pretty transparent.
Oh, for sure. Which I really like that. And I think you just have to be creative about it and recognize that you'll probably get injured because everyone does.
Yeah, there's zero chance that you're going to go through running year after year after year, putting the kind of mileage up. Speaking of mileage,
Although we've had a pretty good run.
What are you doing, Robbie?
knock on wood, all of it.
I mean, then again, I don't run enough to get injured, so no.
I don't know. It's probably the weightlifting.
I think I do a good job of balancing it out. Like I'm pretty good at taking rest days, taking like a week off after marathon.
Of the three of us, probably are the most lax about like schedule. Like if it's on my schedule, I'm doing it. And I think you're more. If it's on the schedule, it's kind of like I can shift this around or do this. And I can still you kind of free form some of your stuff.
Pretty accurate.
Not saying that you shrug it off and they're just like I ain't doing it, but I'm saying that you kind of like if your long run and speed work was today, and you're like I got to take the boys to school or whatever it is.
And I'll do it tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like say that you had a 6 mile run, you might, and you could only get 3 in, you might add 3 on Sunday or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. But yeah, I'm not running 70 miles a week, but I try to have a routine, have goals, but it's just not as much.
But you're working with a coach. He sends you a plan.
Yeah. And I do pretty much everything on the plan. Not always perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like right now, I'm only running 25 to 30 miles a week. So it's just kind of
So we're getting in the peak stuff because we got marathon.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of an age gap between myself and Megan. And there's a little bit of a talent gap between myself and Megan. For example, she did 10 miles today with 5 mile repeats, and she was running like 5:56 per mile.
Okay.
Okay. So like when I do a mile repeat, he's like, try to hit like 7:40. So anyway,
What's the age adjusted pace?
I know exactly, and workout. But there's definitely, I think, there's a difference because I'm last week I ran 54 miles, and for the last few
Wow.
weeks I've been like running right around 50 miles.
Yeah, that's
and,
impressive.
Well, for me, it's tiring.
No, that's
like
a lot. I'm serious. That's
like
a lot.
this weekend I was so happy we didn't have plans, and after I did my long run, I was like, I can hang out on the couch. Meanwhile, though, Megan, what did you run last week?
70.
70. And what are you going to run this week?
90.
So basically, Robbie, she's running double what you and I, or she's running what you and I are running together, but more. Like if we add Carl in, she's probably running what, the three of us.
Yeah.
But
I know.
different goals.
No, I know,
different.
I know.
I mean, you're doing.
I know it's different
weight
goals, but
training
it's
and-
like, I think it's funny if you're in a silo. Like, it's like when I first started Faster Bastards and everybody I knew who was fast was running around 7:30s.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we're real fast. We're sub 3:30 marathoners. We're the best. And then you meet people and they're like, okay.
Well, it is funny because and we've talked about this before, but the women that we run with are all fast, way faster than me. So in my mind, when I see something like the gender differences on the Boston qualifying, I'm like, dude, come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think past a certain spot, there's still more men running the Boston, but I don't think it's necessarily because there's more fast men out there. I just don't think that. I think that women are, and I could be totally wrong, but my perception is that women are getting more competitive now in the sport, where I don't think they used to care as much. It was more, it wasn't as, like, their goal wasn't to run.
I think it was maybe a little bit less accepted and normal than it is now. Like it was always like, quote, normal, I think, for guys to be competitive and go after big goals and outside of like a career. And I think now it's normalized across the board for
But
both.
I wonder, like, if you also matched up when women are getting married, when women are having children, all that stuff, if that is a factor in what we're seeing in this. Like Robbie's right. Like, we run with so many fast women. Like, this weekend I was running Faster Bastards with Ryan Haynes, and like I was trying to do my fast finishing paces, and it just wasn't happening. And this woman who runs with us, who's getting near Bondi, she just comes right up. She's talking, whatever, and then Ryan and her just kind of take off.
Yeah, you're also talking about a group of 20-year-olds, so that's a factor too.
Yeah, but it does. My perception of women running, like, to me, everyone's on the same level. Like,
Yeah.
there's no advantage. Like, it just because everyone that we run with here in Baltimore is pretty fast.
Yeah.
Women for
Yeah.
the most part.
I mean, even the tip, there's like the fast group that goes out. Yeah, there's a group of guys that are in the front, but there's usually at least one woman mixed in there
Yeah.
that is throwing down just as fast. So I'm with Robbie, where I'm like, it seems pretty like even.
But
I don't know.
mean,
I'm
not
always
you and Kara.
I'm always curious if they're going to change the Boston qualifying times between, like, the gap between men and women, because right now it's 30 minutes. And if you look, I always thought it was mimicked after like the pro field and the gap between the men and women there.
But now
if
that's
you
like
look
15
at,
minutes.
If you look at that, sometimes it's like 10.
Yeah. I do wonder with the participation, because I still think that it's the participation Boston. I'm not 100%
It's still
sure.
skewed male.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking that it was still skewed male. I don't think there's a reason to change it until
Sure.
you have 50-50.
Yeah.
like spots
What
in the marathon.
What are what's like the, I don't know. I don't know. They have statistics on like the overall general running population of like who run what.
I know
Are there
the
more-
average
are there
marathon
more
finishing
male-
time is like 4:26.
But is there more like men running marathons than women? Is that in general, not as a,
Not runners, but marathons.
just like, yeah, as an overall population?
I
Like,
believe there
what's-
are more men running marathons than women.
Okay.
But I also think that there's factors that play into that,
Yeah.
which are children,
Right.
You know,
I mean, that makes sense.
like I trained when my kids were born.
Mm-hmm.
I was training for a marathon while
While you were,
I
while your
ran
wife
back.
was pregnant?
Yeah, while she was pregnant,
Yeah, I know.
and when she had the babies at the hospital, I was running back and forth from our house to the
I
hospital.
remember doing that as well. Yeah.
and you know the whole time, if I was up early, I was still running.
Right. Like she like, that's not
Yeah,
happening.
no, she's out for a while.
She had a child.
it looks like it's getting more and more even. So if you look at the 2023 stats, it was 42% women in Boston and 44% women in New York City. So you're like basically 60-40.
Okay.
But the Run Sign Up report that came out, which is talking about statistically like overall races, so that's, including 5Ks and stuff, but there's 53% of all participants were women.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
I mean,
we'll see.
I think in trends, if you look at what's going on sport-wise between some form of high rocks or CrossFit or whatever it is, whether it was Spartan races, there's always going to be that kind of edging into the side view of like running. I kind of feel like running at its core is the standard races, the 5Ks, the 10Ks, half marathons, marathons, now even 50Ks. That's kind of like the core, and that's just like anybody can get involved in that.
Yeah.
You don't need to go to a gym. You don't need to do anything. You put on a pair of shoes, you start running. You
Yeah.
train like a 5K, couch to 5K, you've heard that. But the accessibility of running and then the popularity of it right now and the social aspect, I think, is bringing more and more people, whether it's male or female. Second check-in. I'm talking about running and the percentage of good runs versus bad runs. And it gets me thinking about how special those days are when it's just enjoyable to be out there. And there's different kinds of enjoyable to be out there. There's those races where the pace just seems to come to you and it doesn't feel as much effort to get up to the speeds that you want. And you can just kind of cruise. And before you know it, you finish and you're like, man, I think I could have gone faster. And there's those runs where you're just on a casual, easy run, getting your, garbage mileage in, and you just look out and maybe you see something beautiful on the horizon, or just a feeling, a smile comes across your face, and you're like, this is why I do it, just to be out here and feel like this. So keep on going. Know those days are coming if it's not today. But if you're having one today, make sure you stop, appreciate it, and acknowledge that you're lucky today. All right, Meg, the heat is back. It's time for LMNT Summertime Edition or Spring Summertime Edition. I've been using the winter, but now I'm transitioning back into
Into the straight LMNT packets.
with how I like it.
Yes. So if you're not familiar, LMNT is an electrolyte beverage. They come in very easy to mix little packages, have all the electrolytes you need, plenty of sodium to keep you hydrated. It helps with maintaining steady energy. It improves your cognitive function. You get less headaches, Robbie.
Oh, yeah. I took 2 of those. I took like 2 or 3 of those after the Miami Marathon in the heat.
Whoa,
and
2 or 3?
It brought me right back to life.
Okay.
Took my headache straight
The
right away.
cognitive functioning, I'm not sure it's working on me, but the rest is with the magnesium and everything. Regular water is boring after drinking this. I told Meg the other day I was making it, and I was like, I'm kind of addicted.
Yeah, and I love it for before the race as well as Robbie used it afterwards, but it also helps with muscle cramps and just keeping you overall hydrated and ready to go. So if you guys haven't tried it yet, you definitely need to. And if you just want to get a test of it, you can go to drinklmnt.com/thedrop, and then you can get an 8-count free sample pack.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about today, driving in or whatever. I think my favorite runs haven't been necessarily races or training runs. It's usually like when we're doing like the shakeouts or whatever, where you're talking to people and just kind of like you're not as concerned with pace. You're just having fun.
Yeah.
And that could be different for everybody. But for me, it's like the non-competitive side of running is probably the most fun. And I do think that there's a lot of people coming into running who are enjoying like the clubs and stuff like that who maybe don't necessarily have.
Well, it was funny because when we were up in Boston chatting with the Puma team, we were talking about how running, like when you're growing up, like running isn't cool. Like it's not the cool sport to do. Joining the track or cross country team is like for the kids who couldn't make the soccer team or whatever. At least that's like when I was growing up, that was the like what you thought.
Yeah, they're dorks.
And
I don't know how I don't know how I didn't end up on there.
You were below that. We were skateboarders.
Yeah. I was like,
It's like we non even participation.
yeah.
And they were like, yeah, if you think running's cool, it's just because you're old now. And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, I feel like running's cool. And I'm like, oh no, it's just you've aged up and now you think it's cool and it's still not.
It is cooler.
Now it's becoming cooler though.
It's cooler.
See, but is it, or is it because we're old?
No, because when I see people playing other sports, I'm like, what a bunch of dorks. Like when I run by like the pickleball court or the.
There's definitely younger people doing it and making it like the run
Like
clubs
the
of
run
people
clubs,
in their 20s.
yeah.
Like that was not a thing before.
True.
Yeah.
And I guess now you have like the fashion aspect almost
Right.
to it, where you've got these brands that are quote cool and
It is shocking
Yeah.
how many brands there are now.
Yeah.
Like apparel brands.
Is
It's
it becoming
crazy.
unsustainable?
Yeah. I think it's like it's like the brewery craze of the 2010s. Like there's just like too many.
yeah.
Well, I was thinking about like how, like, in what we're doing, we are fortunate enough to get a lot of the gear seeded to us to check out. But I'm like, if I wasn't running, how would I be like styling for myself? And I'm thinking like I would probably like early days. I think I would be going kind of counter to what's going on, like trying to create like my own
Like jorts.
stuff. Actually, it was sort of, except for not jorts.
Carpenter pants.
Like actually, Tommy Runs has been doing little reels where he's kind of like wearing, whatever he feels like wearing.
What's weird now that you say that? I've actually kind of been doing that in a way. Like I've noticed starting to just wear like whatever shirt, not like a running shirt, just anything.
Like a cotton tee
yeah,
to go
just
running.
Like
The cotton
I don't
tee is-
care.
yeah.
It's a 5 mile run. Who cares?
Well, that was like the other day.
My body and the chafing primarily.
I was walking out the door and I think I just had a regular shirt on or whatever. Makes like you're gonna wear that? I'm like, 6 miles. It's no big deal.
Say what you want about Satisfy Moth-Tech, but that shirt is actually pretty nice to run in. Like they gave us one when we did the podcast at TRE.
Yeah.
Am I saying I would ever pay $130 for the shirt? No, probably not. But it's like, it's a very comfortable cotton t-shirt and you get a little breeze through there.
Little holes in it.
I mean, it's like,
I will say that-
I wouldn't say it's tech, but
Yeah. The first one I got,
it's comfortable.
the holes I think were a little smaller or something. The one that I got from the running event, like there's one that I almost want to stitch up because it's like
Because your nipples poking
it's like
through.
a quarter size hole.
Your nipples saying peekaboo on the run.
It is, but the other thing I will say, it's weird because I got the medium when I first bought it for myself, and so I was like, it's a little snug. It's not bad. I can wear it, but it's a little snug. So I decided to get large when we did the thing. That one's tighter than the medium.
Oh, weird. That's
So,
not cool.
Yeah, because then the holes start doing like this stretch thing.
Yeah. Like, full disclosure, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not trying to defend the Moth-Tech as a thing. It's insane. But I'm not going to lie. Like, it's kind of nice. It is actually pretty nice. When it's like 50 degrees out, 55, it's
I wish I had kept one of the Moth-Tech shirts we made.
oh, yeah.
Those were.
We could make another batch.
I need it. Well, I have to get the shotgun and go out in the woods.
I have a
and
shotgun.
stuff. Do you? All right.
Yeah.
We should make another batch.
Just go down to the railroad tracks. And just blow a couple of rounds in it.
Oh, well, that was a weird thing is the wind was blowing so hard the other day. I think someone had a flag out and it was snapping. And I thought it was gunfire. I was like, Megan, there's gunfire out here.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's not repetitive gunfire in our
Tap, tap, tap,
backyard.
tap, 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 tap.
That's hilarious.
But in Baltimore, you always have the question.
That's true. What was I going to say about the the apparel brands? Just like, it's pretty wild how many there are. We have like a run culture guy who'll do roundups and stuff, and I'm like, what is this? It's like question mark. They're like, there's a brand that just has symbols at this point. We're just doing hieroglyphics. No vowels, just hieroglyphics.
Emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even have vowel hieroglyphics. It's just consonants hieroglyphics. Pyramid shape, period.
Well,
Gone. Something like Gone Girl. That's probably sounds like a running brand.
I like that women's specific.
Yeah. Actually, that would be a really good
Yeah.
Girl. That's a perfect running brand name.
All right,
Gone Girl.
should I get the URL?
Yeah, that might be trademark, but
Okay.
Gone Boy.
The convergence of fashion and running, I think, is the next thing that we're just going to see more of. And I think it will trickle into the footwear. When you see something like that, I love it because just the same way that you could kind of code signal that you were a skateboarder or that you liked a certain band when you were a kid or that you were into something, there's enough space in running where there are ways in which you could kind of express yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think the more that you can do that, I think it's tougher if you're a footwear brand because how many SKUs of the same shoe can you do in different kind of like color palettes or looks to kind of like please different ideas. But like New York, I think the black shoe is going to be the big shoe, which, for us, it doesn't excite me just because it's so hard to photograph and make it look nice.
You know what is interesting about the apparel and style side of running is how far behind the major brands are. Like you have all these boutique brands popping out, crazy stuff that's like really looks just like lifestyle with some performance elements. But Adidas has some stuff like that with a Y3 and things like that. But Nike, it's just dry fit crap. And then like...
Oh, you're saying the apparel itself.
Yeah, there's no like cool... Like, think about these teams that they have. And they're not developing any... Puma, Asics, and New Balance.
I will disagree with you to a certain degree. I don't think they market the stuff. Like Megan, when we were in London, got this really cool Nike hoodie. Remember that?
Yeah.
That hoodie that
It was like made
this,
from recycled materials or something.
but it had the crop kind of cut before people were doing that with the hoodies. And when we were in Germany, we went to the Adidas store. I was like, oh, look at all this cool. Like when we went downstairs and they had all that cool stuff.
That was the Adidas originals, but yeah.
What I'm hearing is that Europe is quite ahead.
I do think, I do, yeah. There is an adoption of style where I think there's an acceptance of non-style in the U.S. sometimes. Like
like most people want to wear safe, like looking not too crazy.
No, I don't think people curate here. I think you go maybe to your local running store. And they have a rack of whatever clothing that's there.
Neon orange T-shirts.
Or you wear your race shirt or you wear whatever is like kind of given to you.
I will say Baltimore is a little bit depressing in that way because there's no style here, at least in the general. Like if you go out trying to look any way cool, nobody will care.
Or even worse, they'll be like, what's that freak doing?
Yeah, right. It's like, whereas New York, it's just everywhere, or LA or whatever. But here, it's very rare to see anyone with style.
There's a freedom. I think.
Not saying I have it, but yeah.
There's a freedom in these cities that we visit that it just isn't here in Baltimore. Like if you go to Chicago, like you don't know if somebody's wearing something cool or not because you're like, is that cool or is it not cool? Mm-hmm. And you might be like, they look cool.
Yeah.
But you can't tell. Like it's not like it's not like a J. Crew catalog or a thing where I feel Baltimore has that kind of like, if you go outside either the preppy range or the art school kid range or the Gorp Core,
Yeah.
if you tried to mix things or do stuff.
I don't think Gorpcore exists in Baltimore.
It doesn't?
I've tried to make it happen on my own. I'm trailblazing. I don't think anybody here has heard of it, which is
All right.
unfortunate. I always like, I do think about, even when I drop my kids off, I'm like, oh, like, still, I might even change after I drop them, you know, and go to work, wear something different. But like, no one, and it's like, no one there. There's zero effort in any way for the day. It's a lot of just sweatpants and ons.
990s, but not for style.
Yeah. Like Nike DSW or whatever the on shoe is
Well,
right now.
that was interesting because I rarely go, even though I'm an admin in a particular group on Facebook. I don't go to Facebook that much anymore. And I noticed I was there the other day because I got a alert that something happened where I was tagged or something. So I go on there and there's a person trying to review shoes, and he was reviewing. He's like, I'm gonna review all the like lower tier big box like DSW shoes, and he's like, and find out if they're runnable. And at first I was like, oh, that's a good idea, you know, get people affordable shoes.
Right.
But then the first comment someone made more sense to me. They're like, why not just buy last year's shoe at deep discount, the same price as that,
Right.
which was a higher end shoe.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, he's right. Like if someone should, and this is out there, if you want to do it, a free idea from us. But if you just did like, hey, these are on sale now, best, you know, shoes that are under $100, you know, kind of stuff like
I
that.
mean, yeah. It's like, we do that sometimes, but
Yeah.
not nearly enough.
Well, it's hard also because stock is limited.
It changes so quickly. Yeah.
Did you guys want to talk about some of the side effects of your weightlifting that are positive and negative?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure everyone loves this journey that we're on.
Hey,
Our
I think
weekly
we're doing the
updates.
Lord's work here. I think
Doing some sort of work.
I wish I had started running earlier in life. And I wish I had started this weightlifting a little earlier.
I know. My end goal is to get recognized by that Body by Mark Instagram account on the street.
Isn't he in New York?
Yeah.
But Robbie's just going to take a train up.
We're in
walk
New
around.
York enough. It could happen
Okay.
in 5 years when I look
I-
moderately.
You gonna wear like a tight
Mod-
shirt and walk down the street?
Yeah.
I have to give Robbie credit. Like, we were at the gym and he was wearing a tight t-shirt last night. And I was like,
Yeah.
Moth Tech?
No. I have worn that before.
I think
that.
it was a Path Projects shirt.
Yeah.
And it might have been the Kafuzi Path.
It was the Kafuzi
Yeah.
one. The non-elite.
Yeah,
which is
but
very
short sleeve. I hadn't seen that one, or maybe I had. But I was like, man, Robbie's looking
Wow.
like a dude with. He's gone from just skinny dude to kinda-
Muscular dude?
Like he's got.
That's
some,
interesting.
He's got some muscles.
All right.
I was like, he looks fit.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a certain way. But then, yeah. Thomas is
What is a certain
Thomas
way?
is throwing up some weights last night. I was pretty impressed.
I-
gotta say, Thomas, you go to the gym one more day than me a week though. You go 3 times, right?
I think this week I'm gonna only go 2, but I've been trying to go 3 days a week. Yeah,
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Which is crazy
The
to me.
there's so our gym is great that there's always someone kind of watching, but there have been a couple times where I'm like, I am lifting a heavier weight, and I'm like, I had a little bit of panic. So this is last night. I'm doing overhead press, and the weight's getting heavier. And I'm on like the 4th rep, and you should never think this on the 4th rep because I have one more rep left. I'm putting the weight up, and I'm like, what if I fell over backwards or if I dropped this? And then I had to do my final rep of that one, and I was like terrified that I was going to hurt myself. And I was like looking at the rack and being like, okay, where do I drop this if I have an issue?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could probably. Have you seen the one where the women are doing the squat and they have the heavy weight on their back and they have long hair and the bar catches their hair
no
and yanks
way.
hair out of their head? Oh, it's terrifying. So,
That's why I never wear my wig to the gym.
yeah, they have. So they're doing the squats like we do.
Uh-huh.
And they have the bar on their back, but they have their hair. And the one girl has a ton of weight and she's gonna drop the weight when she gets back. And so when she comes down for the final squat, she's like drops the weight, and it just yanks her hair, and you see this whole thing of hair just rip right out of her head.
It's like a real curling iron right there. Literally.
I hope it was a
Several
extension.
there's several women. No, there's several women this happened to, and the whole point was the guy was like he stops a girl who's doing squats, and she's got her hair down, and he
Is this in your Instagram feed?
yeah. Anyway, but Robbie, you were talking. Our legs are kind of changing shape,
I think my legs grew. Is that possible?
like height wise or width.
Long?
yeah, well, height wise.
He's 6 foot now.
I don't think that's possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
don't know.
my pants like have gotten shorter.
Oh, yeah, they have, just like my t-shirts, because what happens is
You're
as
swole
you
now.
fill it up, it pulls the material up.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that is why. I was like,
your,
why?
your thighs are thicker, so your pants come up.
Okay.
You got strong thighs.
I will say I started noticing now I'm going to turn into friggin' Jarrett Weisberg and get a chafing 101.
Chub rub.
Yeah. What is that called? Chub rub?
Yeah.
Is that that's a scientific term?
Little friction fire between the thighs there.
I noticed, I was like, I never had that problem before. And I'm like, now I'm going to have to do what, Body Glide or
Dude,
half tights
I
or whatever?
want Body Glide to sponsor us. I probably spend more money on Body Glide
How
than
don't
any
they?
other
I'm just
running.
using Vaseline now. It's
No,
the same stuff.
no, it is not. Vaseline one can
It's very
get
cheap.
in your clothes.
Okay.
The I feel like the Body Glide is the way to go.
All right. Yeah.
Unless you're doing it, I use it in the groinal area. And that's good even for marathons. I just make sure I apply a lot. And then I usually use it on my nipples and for like regular runs, anything over 6 miles.
Okay.
And then for the marathon, I get those blister shields. For some reason,
Right.
my little guys like to hit the sandpaper.
You talking about your testicles?
No,
What?
the nips,
Oh, because shoot, my bad.
my chesticles.
I was like, I didn't know what you meant. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah, I agree with you though. Like I have noticed more rubbing down since we've been doing the squats. I don't think that the deadlift probably doesn't do it. It's probably the squats.
Yeah. I thought I was imagining stuff. I was like, am I just standing wrong, like in the shower? Did I start like? Because I was like,
No longer flick quarters through the gap in my legs.
yeah. I started changing everything about my life. But I guess that's what it is. My body's changing. I'm growing. I'm getting an Adam's
His
apple.
voice is getting lower.
Yeah. It's finally happening.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. That's pretty interesting though.
Here's the one thing I have a question for you. Okay. So before we went to the gym,
Yeah.
you probably thought, I'm a man, I can handle myself.
I don't know which
All right.
way.
So like
Opening a jar?
physically and stuff like
Actually, I didn't think that. That's why I went to the gym.
okay.
Having trouble opening
So
like this.
before we go to the gym, I'm like, I'm strong enough. Like I could probably still, throw some fists if I had to.
Yeah.
And getting to the gym and starting to do the workouts and stuff like that, I was like, woof. I really had a long way to go. A long
yeah.
way to go.
No, for sure.
And I'm like, when we're talking to people, like when we're talking about weights, I'm not throwing up like Arnold Schwarzenegger numbers here.
This is why if you've noticed, we don't say the amount.
No,
of
I will
weights.
tell you, I'm max. So I've been doing this now we're going on our 3rd month or 4th month?
Almost 3.
Okay, almost 3. I'm up to benching, it sounds crazy because I got the little tiny weights on the end to add the extra weight, but 167.5 for the bench.
Which is close to your body weight, right? Or right at it?
No, I'm probably, see, I haven't weighed myself since we started working out. I might be even heavier. I'm like 175.
Okay.
I think one time I weighed myself, I was 171 recently.
Okay.
But not since we started working out, so over 3 months. But
Close enough.
So I'm up to that, and that's by adding we've been slowly building up. We've add 5 pounds a week, and then for squats, I think I've done over my body weight.
Yeah.
Wait, for squats, I'm
That's
trying
all
to think. I can't remember.
Yeah.
what the exact number is.
But you're.
I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah, we could probably.
I was gonna say overhead press.
I mean,
I got real excited.
it'd be different if we were impressing people, but
Yeah, it's not. Well, that's the thing. Meg's brother's lifted like ever since I've known him.
yeah.
You know, he's like, yeah, deadlift
But that's his sport.
300 pounds, 400 pounds.
Also, I did tell him I might, after spring marathons, he really wants to do high rocks.
Okay.
So
you
I
should do
said,
it.
I said maybe.
You should do it. I think it'd be cool. I'd be interested. You can do a report back from the field. Tell us how it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I know Megan did a half marathon or half Ironman. You love that,
I hated that.
right? You, I don't
Yeah.
see you liking it.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Final check-in. You know, we don't ask you for feedback a lot, and there's an ability to leave a comment on the podcast. Why don't you tell us what it is that makes running special for you? Because, like I said, I'm always kind of meditating on that. What is it? And it's always changing. And the longer I run, the more it changes, and the different things I want out of running and different things that come out of running for me. But we'd love to hear from you. And we want to say thanks for listening. And leave a comment either here or when we post on Instagram the picture for the week. Maybe leave a comment there what running means to you. And I'd love to find out what your thoughts are.
So I know we're just coming back to the Tokyo Marathon. I want to think. So we recognize some of the names of the winners, but like a lot of them in the top 10, I didn't know.
Yeah. I didn't either.
Why don't more people like elites do Tokyo? Is it because London's closer for people and more accessible, or like what is the?
Maybe it's money.
Because Tokyo is fast.
Yeah.
So like, I mean like the elites that we all know.
Like Americans.
Yeah.
I do think a part of it is the financial component.
Okay.
I think you get a lot more for a Boston
Oh, okay.
than a Tokyo.
Or London even.
I don't think you see a lot in London either.
Oh, really?
Well, you see a lot of the European, like.
But not Americans.
Okay. So
Not as many.
you're saying sponsorship money?
I believe.
Okay.
A lot of
I
times the
believe so.
races will pay.
That makes sense.
Also pay you to come.
That makes sense if that's your market you're running in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that
so-
also makes sense why ASICS had their athletes in. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But if you think about like Boston, Boston probably pays a lot of the pros to run it
Yeah.
because they want to keep that prestige.
Yeah.
So even though it's not the easiest major, you get like look, the field is just stacked.
Yeah.
Do we talk about the Boston Medal on the last episode?
Yeah.
We should.
Did we talk about it?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, because how bad it was.
So nice.
How bad it was last year and how good it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to give it to them. At least they listened.
No, they did good.
Like
They had to listen. There was no not listening.
But even Bank of America could have slapped their name on there again, but they just put the little flag logo in the bottom.
They
which
did better.
It's tasteful.
I
It's
was
nice.
this weekend. I told you I spent some time on the couch.
Yeah.
I put on Speed with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And-
such a good movie.
The old Bank of America
Yeah.
logo, I think, is better than the new one.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
I don't.
It just was like a B and an A, and they're kind of like linked together.
I don't remember that now.
Oh, you got to
either.
look it up. It
Okay.
looks like a Rand logo.
Okay.
But it's so good, and I'm like, they should bring that back.
Man, logos in general were so good, and then everybody went to that. Everybody's now doing like Apple. Like, do you know what I mean?
They went through a phase where you tried to simplify it down to the.
This doesn't look like an American logo to me.
I love that.
Let me see.
Like, it's got a. Do you see the bird in it?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's got like a bird, the
I like
eagle
it.
for Bank of America.
I like it.
Who designed that? Can you? If that's Rand, I would love it.
While
Yeah.
I'm Googling this, do you want to talk about this
Yeah,
Puma Forever? Is this ForeverRun 2? 3?
two.
2.
So I would call this the stability shoe for people who don't like stability shoes.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's fantastic. Like
I haven't run in this yet, but I do have it. I was going to run in it today.
you got to run in it. Carl is going to do the review with me. I think he's little shy of the number.
Yeah, I've
you
got
need.
16 on it so far.
I
Yeah.
thought you just meant he was shy in general. I was like that.
I mean, are you shy, Carl?
You a shy guy?
Am
No.
I a shy guy?
Carl, say that there was a room full of eligible partners, dating partners.
Sure.
Oh, I'd feel bad for them.
Are you
Kinda like a wrecking
gonna just try to stand in the corner and let them come to you, or are you gonna work the room?
Yeah, what I usually do is I usually just open up the weather app on my phone and I make it look like I'm like kind of like busy, like not paying much
Why
mind.
the
and
weather app?
Because you can
it's
swipe
something-
on it. and
Yeah,
it looks
exactly.
Like you're getting
Tons
the
of
free
widgets,
swipes.
little things you can scroll, and it's organic. So you kind of just hang out, and then you kind of wait for the swath of partners to walk over.
To walk to you?
So
yeah,
you're
yeah,
waiting.
It's a mating call.
It's like
basically.
a honey trap.
No way.
Yeah, it's the modern mating call.
Man.
That's not real. People don't take dating advice from me.
And then he just talks into a microphone and holds it up to their ear. Says,
You may have heard of me. I'm Carl from Believe in the Run.
You know, I
"You should
was
just play the podcast."
I was
Should do.
listening to a Rick Roll podcast this week, and they were talking about dating apps specifically.
You called it Rick Roll. Is awesome.
Rick Roll,
Rich
Rich Roll.
Rich Roll, and
Never gonna give.
Never gonna
and
let you
they
go.
were saying how in nature we are like attracted to people who are not similar to ourselves, and specifically they've done tests on like scents, and if someone's scent is very different than yours, you tend to be more attracted to
like
it.
50 Cent.
Yeah. And these apps do the complete opposite, where you try and find someone who's just like you, and then they said you end up dating someone like your sibling, and then it doesn't work out.
Yeah, that's why I hate
Yeah.
my sister. We're too much alike.
That's after you hooked up, though, right?
I mean, I am from Pennsylvania. So.
Oh, jeez.
No, but I feel like, yeah, you're right. The people are too much alike. It just
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a law of science.
Yeah.
Opposites
Do you
attract.
know why?
Isn't there a movie called
No,
that?
here's why. The ideal behind it is that for evolution and for genes,
Yeah.
like you've noticed it, if you do marry your sister,
Yeah.
complications arise
Yeah,
in the children.
I've noticed.
So you want that difference in genes.
No. Which, by the way, I don't hate my sister, but I would
Or
say
hook up with her. You gotta.
I would say we butt heads a lot.
You said
I don't hate
butt
anyone.
heads.
Anyway, that was my information on dating apps.
It's a good observation.
Yeah.
I'll-
Take it if you want.
So when you're on the dating apps, do you choose people like you? Or
No, I'm always going for the opposite.
But yeah, this Puma shoe is pretty good.
I need some stability right now. Megan just took me down
yeah,
a
there you
peg.
go.
Anyway, I would call this a stability shoe for people who don't like stability shoes. And this is a thing, these shoe companies are making shoes now that are like, I felt like before you were like Tiny Tim with the crutches when they gave you stability shoes. Now these feel pretty good underfoot.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
This one has the double, like supercritical, to like the same as in like the glycerin or the glycerin max.
Yeah.
Where there's two different densities.
density,
Yeah. Thank you. Dual density. That's a good.
Yeah, terminology.
Yeah. Dual density, supercritical foam, and it works. It
Nice.
gives you a similar feeling. I think you wore the glycerin. I wore the glycerin max. Do you feel like the cushioning is similar?
I think so. Yeah, it's got a nice propulsion to it, so it's a good ride.
Yeah. Overall, the upper fits amazingly well. I was actually surprised how good it fits. One knock is I don't know what they were thinking with these shoelaces.
I was
but
gonna say that. Yeah,
they're tiny, right?
yeah. There's like definitely not enough room or not enough to like tie
Oh,
a
like
shoe.
on the end or whatever.
Yeah.
Even
Look,
through the first eyelet, like it's like nothing.
that's what you're left with.
Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird.
But the heel counter and stuff, it feels so good.
Yeah.
It's comfy. The tongue sits nice on your ankle bone there. It does, like, to me, where I land on a shoe, midfoot to forefoot, I don't even really notice stability so much. I mean, you can tell the heel is pretty stable.
Yeah.
But so I was like trying to, when I did my run today, I intentionally,
You just picking stuff out of your shoe. For a germaphobe, you really dig in there.
yeah,
know.
dude, he was.
I intentionally leaned back and tried to heel strike and feel what it felt like coming through the stride. It has a really nice cushioned heel, and I do think it kind of guides your foot through the stride when you land back.
I think we have the written review up.
Is it up?
Yeah, because our stability people have had it.
I know
so-
Sam
or maybe it's
Sheldon
not
loves
up.
it.
Can't remember. Yeah, they
Yeah,
really
he couldn't
like
stop raving about it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The only knock I have on it is I felt a little bit of forefoot thinness. It's not horrible,
Really?
by any means. Yeah, like I definitely feel a little more compression underneath, like the front pad of my foot.
I wonder if that's just because there's so much in the back.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be, but again, you got
I
the
didn't feel that.
Puma grip outsole.
Puma grip, awesome.
Yeah,
With the Believe in the Run logo.
where's that?
It does look like it on,
Oh, yeah, it
on the
does.
outsides.
Yeah, yeah, it does actually. Motherfucker.
Did you weigh the shoe yet?
I'm gonna have to hit him up. No, I haven't. You have the scale over there?
I did weigh it.
What's it weigh? Because we wear the same, 10.5.
Yeah, well, what do you think it weighs?
I'm gonna say it runs on the heavier side. I'm gonna say it's 10.85.
11.1.
11.1.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That
it's
sounds
fine.
right.
It doesn't,
That's
it's not
ridiculous.
for
No.
stability shoe too. Yeah, it's pretty.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, right now we're getting so many shoes in at that weight that it's not feeling like egregious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd prefer.
Like the ride's really nice. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of makes up for it.
Like Meg, I even think that you would like this shoe
Yeah, I got to put it on.
because this would be one like, you know how you did your 10-mile workout today with the speed,
Yeah.
and you're doing a second run this afternoon.
Yeah. Are mine here?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll just wear them home.
Robbie,
There you
have you think about that? She just did 10 miles with 5 miles at like
Right.
5:56.
Sure.
We
And
get
she-
it. We
she's
get
got
it.
another
Yeah.
another run today.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that almost makes me sick. Like I would be like, ugh,
Yeah, I'd be like, time for a burger and fries. Like,
time for a bike ride.
and a thin mint frosty for sure.
Gross.
All right, question for you, Robbie.
Yeah.
On the looks of the shoe, I like the design.
Yeah, it's
fine.
nice.
It's got a little some stuff that I'm like, maybe it doesn't need everything going
Uh-huh.
on. But the Puma logo,
Yeah. Yeah, they got to get rid of the stripes on it, the
Like the-
track looking thing, whatever.
I don't understand why both Asics and Puma just don't want to put like a solid.
I don't
Logo.
understand this insistence on the gradients and whatever else. Just make it look like a classic Puma shoe or something.
Well, I look at the thing that we all love about the Evo. It's so clean and so nice. It's
Yeah.
got that really strong 3 stripes, and that's it.
Maybe not for every shoe, but like, can you just do it in some of the shoes? Like, just make a classic looking shoe. I mean, that's my problem. I think with Puma shoes, in general, is that I feel like a lot of their designs are really hard to tell apart. Like from the Velocity to the Magnified to the this.
That's
I
a
mean,
good point, though.
They just all look kind of the same.
I was thinking where this fits in, and I haven't tried, the new Velocities coming out. But if you were going, like, say you love the DV8 Nitro, but you didn't want to run in a plate,
Yeah.
I think this shoe gives you that really nice ride that you get from the DV8 Nitro
Okay. Yeah.
without a plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another one. Deviate Nitro. Like aside from this heel clip thing, the structure. I mean, they all look very similar. Whereas if you have, like you're talking Adidas, when you take the Boston versus the Evo SL versus the SL2, or Nike and the Vomero and Pegasus, they all look. You can tell Vomero from Pegasus
Yeah.
from a mile away.
Yeah.
At least the new ones.
What do you think about
The DV8 Nitro and the DV8 Nitro Elite look the exact same from
Oh, for sure.
like not that far
Okay,
away.
what do you think about Cayano versus Nimbus versus Cumulus?
Yeah, I don't love that either. If I'm being
Okay.
honest.
So it's a bad example
But
or a good example, one way or the other.
Yeah.
even the Nova Blast and Super Blaster, a little bit like
Share
you can
DNA.
tell, but you can.
But I think there's a difference between sharing DNA to kind of indicate to a consumer where the line falls in. I think Adi Zero does that well. There's like a thread in there. I think New
Right.
Balance does it really well with Fuel Cell.
Fuel Cell versus Fresh Foam, like 880 looks like 1080.
Oh, for sure.
And the Trainer looks like the SC Elite.
Yeah.
And the Rebel looks
Yeah, they do a good
Like,
job.
yeah.
But yeah, doesn't mean it's not a good shoe. It's just
I think you have
nice
to-
be able to tell them apart.
I think you have to have a brand DNA so that it kind of like you said, the Pumas look similar, but they all look like Pumas.
Yeah.
So
Wait, so what are you saying?
I'm saying so there could be something good about that.
I mean, I guess, but if you have that stripe down the side, no one's gonna think it's a Nike.
Yeah.
I just would like to see the solid stripe, bring back the classic Puma look in some of the stuff.
Well,
at
that's a
least.
crossover between when we were talking earlier about like fashion and running. Like this still looks like what you expect a traditional running shoe to look like. It's got like a lot of the components. Like these are like, you know, a look.
Yeah.
That I would say. Now, if you take it, and it's interesting that they originally marketed the Evo SL as kind of like a crossover shoe, where it's, to me, it's much more of a performance shoe than
Yeah, I don't know I hope that nobody's walking around in that shoe.
I don't hate it to walk around in. I know that you're like, it's a little too squishy and
Yeah.
unstable, but that shoe has that appeal. Like you could see yourself wearing it looks wise with
Looks wise for
Casual.
sure. Yeah, looks great.
where a lot of the shoes that we're seeing from the brands, they don't, it's like, okay, performance side.
This is like when you're at TRE and you see the reps and people from the brands or product line managers and stuff, and they wear the coolest apparel that they have from that their brand
That you
makes,
can't get.
that you probably can't get, and then they pair up their shoes with it, and you can always tell like which brands aren't great at design because it looks weird. Like I'm trying to think.
Yeah, give me an example.
I want to say like maybe Mizuno has some, now they have some like retro packs that they can wear and stuff, but like when you had just someone wearing a Mizuno Neo Vista or something with like trying to like pair that up with some sort of cool apparel, it just doesn't, like, it's weird.
Well-
Or some trail, like, do I have to say ultra, but like it's very hard. Some of the trail
Wait,
models.
did you see the New Balance? Not New Balance. The new Adidas. Like, there's a clown-looking shoe that they've been. Like, oh, you got to go on Instagram for this one. There's a shoe that looks like a clown shoe.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and you were saying that.
Oh, I'm just saying-
What brand?
Well, I'm saying ultra. It's just very hard to pair that, or even Topo Athletic. It's very hard to pair those to make those look cool with anything.
Yeah.
Some people almost pull it off, but it's like maybe some of the ultra trail models. But even the same with Brooks is very hard to just take a Brooks running shoe and make that look cool.
Not the Glycerin Max.
I think
Now,
yeah.
yeah. But I would say in the Glycerin Max actually doesn't.
Like, if I was going someplace and I had to wear Brooks, I'm going Glycerin Max.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Giving you
in
the height.
the past, for the last 10 years, there's
No.
nothing that you
Especially when it comes in royal blue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically they should give you a black turtleneck and the 501 acid
Yeah.
wash jeans.
But you know what I mean when you go to Terry and
Yeah.
they have to wear their own stuff, but then they're trying to look
Yeah.
cool, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not quite working.
But
and then you go into something like Norda or
that's what I was just gonna say. So you have a shoe like Norda, and they're always like, "Well, performance, you got to have. It's got a different look because it's performance." Norda's a performance shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good when you're wearing it with non-running stuff. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that I think is missing from some of the design.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's what's missing from some of the designs. Just like, why can't it look good and be performance?
I would say even Nike does a pretty good job of balancing those two things, even though I think they're tipping a little too much in the looks lifestyle-ish shoes with these days. But I felt like even the peg always looks good, like especially certain colorways you can rock with like normal clothes, or the perfect example, the Infinity React or Epic React, that look good with everything, or even the Invincible. Like,
do you think Nike just can't win? Like, if they don't do something innovative, people are like, Nike's not innovating, they're not doing anything cool. And then if they do something like the Pegasus Premium, where people are like, looks too much like a, athleisure shoe, or it looks too much like, whatever.
yeah, I mean, I think you're right.
I think
to
they're
some
damned if they
degree.
do and damned
Yeah.
if they don't. So they might as well just go wild.
Yeah,
And so many leaks of the Vomero Premium already.
right.
I mean, that shoe looks wild.
But not the Vomero Plus hasn't leaked yet.
I know, I like that one. That's the
is
one I like. I
Yeah,
think
that was my favorite too.
Yeah. Speaking of Vomero, that's, I guess, released now. We're going to be doing a Nike run from the headquarters here, March 27th. So if you're in the Baltimore area and you want to hang out with Nike and try either the Premium or the Vomero 18,
Oh, wow.
we're going to be doing a demo here out of the office with Believe Run Club. It should be fun. There's going to be some giveaways. There's going to be food and drink.
Wow.
And of course, a choice of a 3 or 5 mile route along the beautiful harbor. And I think we were going to do it earlier in the year, and I think it actually worked out because it was freezing the day that we were supposed to do it.
And ice. Did it snow that week?
Yeah, it was like
it
it
would
was
have been
gnarly.
bad running.
So I'm thinking that you're going to have good weather on March 27th. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Knock on wood. But yeah, it should be fun. So if you want to try some of that new Nike product and you're around here, you should come. It's going to be a good party.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then 3 days later, Carl and I will.
Go to
Ship
Africa.
off
Yeah.
to Kenya.
Yeah.
I did find out we will be with somebody that we like when we're in Kenya.
Okay.
I think that's it.
All right. Yeah,
Is it?
pretty good.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening if you made it this far.
Yeah, some
Still
people
shocked.
complain that it's too long. Some people complain it's too short.
We're like Nike. Can't
Yeah,
win.
You can't.
Some people hate the intro song. Other people love
Yeah,
it.
very
Yeah.
opinionated still.
If you,
Still getting
I
a lot
think
of
we're getting
opinions.
more likes than not likes.
Yeah.
And I would also say it's like running. If you don't hate us a little bit, then you don't love us.
That's true. That's actually accurate.
Dash Nike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I got believe in the run. I can take anything I want.
Yeah.
That's true.
Pretty much our entire DNA.
Okay. Carl, she really liked that you said it last time.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, Ma.
A good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop.